Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Mega Diancie with Dusknoir. This is a deck that has been doing the rounds and actually beat us in the Clefairy box video, and well, I thought, let's go off and make my own version of this because I'm actually quite intrigued. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be usual links, double the deck list, which is also available in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and of course the outro and what I think of the deck. There will also be a link to my Discord server, of course, going forward. Should you wish to obviously, give me any decks, or, just want to hang out with me and the rest of the community, feel free to do so. So, of course, today we're going to take a look at Mega Diancie EX. It's actually the first time I've covered this card. I did try it with like a box sort of approach back when rotation wasn't obviously happening. Well, it was more of like a Diancie toolbox deck. It had like Clefairy, it had Monkey Dory, things like that. But it didn't work very well, and I still need to get around to Gengar, but I probably won't get a video out on Gengar because I've just not really found anything that works for that card. But Diancie is a really tough Pokemon to deal with because Metal Weakness isn't too relevant right now, and Diamond Coat means it's effectively 300 HP, which is pretty good for a basic. Then of course we have the attack Garland Ray for 120 times, and we can discard up to 2 energy cards from this Pokemon. And this attack does 120 damage for each card you discarded in this way. What that basically means is we are capping out at 240 damage. Now, 240 is not too bad against the basic Pokemon, and well, it's actually really good against Pokemon that are weak to Psychic, because we can deal with them. But outside of that, that doesn't sound too impressive. So that's why we're playing a 3-3-2 Dusknoir line. Dusknoir enables us to hit 370 total, technically speaking. Obviously, we have to give him a prize card, but we can afford to do that. And of course, Dusknoir, I mean, technically it can attack. I had to attack with this in testing, funnily enough. I'd prized 2 Diancie in one of the test games that I did, and I had to attack with Dusknoir's Shadowbind, which actually did matter, because then I was able to blow it up with Curse Blast, go into Latias, and then Wondrous Patch to the Diancie, and manually attach to the Diancie, so I had a fresh Diancie set up. Really interesting line, but I probably won't be able to pull that off in this video because it did take a lot of resources. But even so, just having the option to Curse Blast not only gives us damage output, but it also just makes things a lot easier if we need to. We also have other attackers in here. We do have 2 copies of the Lillie Clefairy, pretty standard. We're able to hit Dragon Pokemon for weakness. But then a cheeky tech attacker I've added in is the Team Rocket's Mimikyu. And I know Chef Husky's going to love this, but there's actually a reason why this is in the deck. 1, it's another free retreater, but also 2, it's cheap to power up. And the reason why I'm putting this in is because we can copy Terra Pokemon attacks. So we can copy the likes of Pult, Terapagos, Wellspring, Tealmask, all that sort of stuff. And it's surprising how good it actually is. And obviously, if they're Psychic weak, for example, Koraidon EX, that just adds it a little bit more, that just adds a bit more to it. Now, it's not the most relevant in terms of, most of the matchups we're probably going to be coming across, but the fact that we could even do something like, copy Terapagos' Unified Beatdown, if we manage to, pop a Dusknoir on it, copying Wellspring, so we can, hit the Wellspring for 100 and then, go into something else, and then we can Dusknoir the Wellspring later. I'm very surprised this has not been a tech for some people to add in, so I thought I might as well try it. And so far in testing, I've not gotten to use it too much, and it might be worth cutting it, but I'm not 100% sold on that yet. Otherwise, we do have a couple of other support Pokemon. We do have Fez in here, we do have a Meowth in here as well, and we also have a Bloodmoon Ursaluna because, well, Bloodmoon Ursaluna in a Dusknoir deck just makes it so much better, in my opinion, because you can Dusknoir, then go into Bloodmoon for no energy, and effectively do 370 damage just like Diancie, but you don't have to discard energy to do it. Anywho, let's go to the deck list, and let's have a proper look. And welcome to the deck list. This has been a really fun deck to test in, just in general. And adding the Team Rocket's Mimikyu I just thought was a really nice little tech attacker, and so far it's been actually pretty good. Obviously, this isn't a deck that I think will be like the top tables, so to speak, but I think it's a good, solid deck for what it needs to do. We have the Powerglass to obviously put energy back on the Diancie. We have Telepathic Psychic Energy and 3 Hilda to find said, telepathics. So we're constantly setting up our Psychic attackers and obviously Psychic support Pokemon. You know, obviously we can set up Duskulls, we can even grab Latias off of the Telepathic Psychic Energy. So it's a really solid deck in that regard. Obviously there are a few things I may want to change about this list. I don't think we need 4 boss, but, you know, there is argument to say that you do need 4 boss in this sort of list. I would want to probably replace the Mimikyu. I know obviously I've sung its praises in the opening bit. If you obviously skipped ahead you will know that, but this is a card that, whilst in testing it's been funny, I don't think this is a card you need in the list. There's not really any Psychic single prizes that I can think off the top of my head that would like suit this list very well. And the problem is if it is going to be a single prizer, and you know we have the Wondrous Patch then attached to it, it needs to be something with a bit more value. So I don't think Mimikyu should stay in this list, but for today we're going to play it anyway. So of course we have 3 Duskulls, 3 Dusklops, 2 Dusknoirs, 3 Mega Diancie, 2 Lillie Clefairy, 1 Fez, 1 Meowth, 1 Latias, 1 Bloodmoon, and of course the Team Rocket's Mimikyu. Then of course we have 4 Lilies, 4 Boss, 3 Hilda, 1 Petrel to obviously cherry pick our Secret Box, which is our race spec in this deck. 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Night Stretcher, 3 Rare Candy, 3 Wondrous Patch, pretty solid count for this. 2 Poké Pad, obviously it can grab us Dusknoirs, it can grab us Team Rocket's Mimikyu. It's mainly for grabbing our Dusknoir line, but obviously we can grab the Mimikyu with it. Then of course we have a Secret Box as our A spec, which lets us grab a tool, supporter, and stadium card as well as an item card. Really solid card, and it's just really effective all round. We then have 2 copies of Powerglass. Obviously Diancie discards cards, or discards energy cards to actually use its attack. Now this only works on basic energy, so telepathic psychic energy cannot be grabbed off of this. But we play 6 psychic anyway. Which, I'll be honest with you, maybe that's what Mimikyu could become, a 7th psychic, just to add a little bit more consistency in terms of fighting energy, but that's something for you to decide. Then of course we do have 2 Lively Stadium, ignore my misclick there. This adds 30 HP to our Diancie, so it's effectively 330 HP thanks to the Diamond Coat. Really solid for a basic Pokemon. Then of course 6 Psychic and 4 Telepathic Psychic Energy. Obviously Telepathic can only be attached, well I say it can only be attached, it can be attached to, you know, Meowth, Fez, Bloodmoon, things like that. But we won't get the effect because this has to be attached to a Psychic Pokemon. But you know, if in a clutch we can obviously attach it to the likes of Team Rocket's Mimikyu to obviously set up our board. We can obviously attach it to Diancie and use it as part of Diancie's attack because Diancie doesn't specify basic energy. So it's a really effective list, and so far this has been a really fun one to test. But like I said, as much as I love this Mimikyu in here, I don't think we need to keep it. It's a card that, you know, it was funny when I first thought of it to like add into this list, but I think we need to find a Psychic single prizer that can like be a bit more effective. Because at the end of the day, we're not really benefiting from, you know, Team Rocket's... Like, we are benefiting in a way, because obviously we can copy the likes of Port and things like that. But I just think with Team Rocket's Mimikyu in the list, either we need to find a way to accommodate it better, because obviously Wondrous Patch plus, you know, manual attachment is the only way we're going to do it. So maybe an energy switch could go in this list. I'm not sure what you cut for it, though. But, you know, Mimikyu's really good against Pult, which is going to be very nice, because obviously we can copy Pult's attack, and if we have Clefairy down, which we're going to definitely try and get down, we can copy Phantom Dive for 400 damage, and then spread 6 damage across their board, which is insane when you think about it. But honestly, this list has been really fun, and I really suggest giving it a try. So, let's get into some matches, and see how we do. And welcome to our first game. We're obviously playing the Mega Diancie Dusknoir deck. I've been seeing a few of these lists popping up around about, you know, just in general. Snorlax Gold Fat, and he's got a Snorlax coin. If this is not a deck with a Snorlax in it, I'm going to be very disappointed in you, mate. But it's one of those things where, you know, this is a deck where it's like, you don't really have like a bad thing going first or second. But if you obviously have your telepathic psychic energy, it just feels really good. Okay, that is pretty shocking, I will say. I mean, we at least get to attach to the Duskull. Ooh, this could be bad. This could be bad. I did get a mulligan, but obviously it is a forest deck. So that doesn't really help, but the Poké Pad definitely does. Applin, so this is Hydrapple. This could be a tough one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Ultra Ball away Boss, and I think Petrel, but Petrel's good for, you know, cherry picking. I mean, I could get rid of Psychic Energy and it's completely fine. It's just I have no retreat for my my Duskull, but I can live with that. So what I'll do now is I'll grab a Diancie and let's have a look at the deck. So we've got all the Diancies in the deck. We have prized our Lillie's Clefairy, but that's not too relevant in this matchup. Wondrous Patch, we've prized 1. We've got all 4 telepathics in the deck, and we've just been the Psychic. Dusknoir line, we have the entire Dusknoir line. Excellent. So I'll go Diancie. We can then Poké Pad, grab ourselves a Duskull, bench the Duskull, Wondrous Patch to the Mega Diancie, and we will pass. We need to be very careful in this matchup, which is why I think Petrel for Secret Box is probably our best turn. Because then we could, well then again, we could grab Telepathic Psychic Energy, attach it to the Duskull, but then we're not really doing much after that. It might just be safer to just Lillies for turn. There's Dawn. They've got to have Tilmas in this list, surely. There's the entire Meganium line. And they're going to spray fluid for 20. Yes, they are. Respect. I love seeing the meme attacks when they come up, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is I Lillies for turn instead of Petrel. Because the problem is with Petrel is I'm not really getting anything off of Petrel other than Secret Box. Okay, well there's Secret Box, but I don't have an energy, which is annoying. I mean, I can Dusclops blow this so that it takes an energy off the board. I can do that. I don't want to put down Lively Stadium yet. I can Secret Box away Ursaluna, Diancie, and probably the Dusknoir. Because then I can grab Hilda. I can grab Powerglass. I can grab Poké Pad, because then I can start tearing apart his board. The only thing we're not grabbing is a Stadium, but we've prized a Lively, so I'm not too mad about that. So I'm going to go for a Poké Pad. We'll grab a Dusclops. Go for Dusclops. I'll Curse Blast the active. Because then that means I can get Diancie into the active, which is the important thing. We've not got a Psychic Energy in the prize cards, but still, it's the best thing I can do here is start to pick apart its board. So then I'll promote the Diancie. Do I want to knock out this Applin? I think I do. So I'm going to Curse Blast again. Take out the Applin now. I think it's fine to do this, because then I can Night Stretcher for a Duskull. It's just a shame we're not getting an attack off this turn. Because otherwise, if we had a Psychic Energy right now, we would win. But we don't have one in the prize cards. And there's Lillie's Clefairy. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to destroy my opponent's final Pokemon here, I can't, because I don't have the ability to do so. So I'm just going to put down the Lively Stadium, and I will pass. If we had a Psychic in the prize cards and we got it, we would have just won the game right there and then. That would have been insane, but sadly, we wasn't able to do that. But I can't argue with that. That was a really solid turn. You know, now we can go Hilda for, you know, it's just we are missing out on, you know, the Hilda value per se, because obviously our Dusclops are in the bin now. But still, I mean, it's not the end of the world anyway. It's like if we top deck, you know, what we need, we should be okay. They're going to go into Meganium. That's fine. If they can evolve this Applin, they're going to be in a good position. But even then, if I get an energy off the top, I'll be in a really good position as well. Because then it means I don't have to play Hilda for turn. I can just boss, you know, like Tilmas Gogobon. Even a Night Stretcher would be really nice, because then I can use Hilda for Telepathic, Psychic Energy, get some of my boards set up, and then I can use Dusclops, blow up this. But let's see what we get off the top. Ultra Ball, okay. So we'll play the Hilda. We do have Dusclops left. I didn't think we did, but it's fine. Because now what we can do is we can take out the Meganium, and we can blow up that Applin. It does mean they only need, you know, to take out a single Diancie, but I'm going to make that as hard as I can for them. So let's go for the Duskull, and we'll go for Do we go for another Diancie? I don't think we need it. I'll go for the Latias in case they try anything. So we'll do that. We can then evolve to Dusclops, Curse Blast, take out the Applin. So that's their third Applin, which is good. Then again, no, he Night Stretchered it, so that's their second one still. So we'll take another prize card there. That's a candy. That's going to be very useful later. And then, yeah, we're just going to Garland Ray, discard both, take out the Meganium. And then all we need to do is take out a Teal Mask for game. There's Wondrous Patch, but that's not too relevant. Because already Psychic Energy has just gone back on the Diancie. But like I said, even if we do cough up a prize card with, like, you know, Rare Candy Dusknoir, as long as we find a Psychic Energy, we can just win with Bloodmoon. So I'm not really worried. You know, like, this is not a bad situation for us. But I've not seen a single Snorlax. I'm very disappointed in you, my friend. Don't think I forgot about that. But now you can start to see why this deck is very control focused. Like, it's so heavy on, like, getting Dusknoirs going. And also, we do have Dusknoir in the deck, so remember, we saw it earlier with Hilda. I thought my third Dusclops was prized. I seem to have forgotten that I said at the start that, you know, there was it in the deck. But yeah, unless, like, if we top up deck a Psychic Energy, we just win. We just win right here. Their Teal Mask is going to be doing, let's see, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, minus the 30. So 150. They're going to go into the Diplin. They're going to go into Hydrapple. This is the Hydra Breath one. Okay. And that is game. We go attached to the Diancie, boss the Teal Mask, and Garland Ray for 240, and take game. Really smooth game there against the Hydra Breath Hydrapple. How would they get 6 basic energy cards in their hand without superior energy retrieval? That's what I want to know. Let alone how many, like, grass energy are you running in that list? But you can start to see, like, why this deck works, because you have the early pressure of Garland Ray potentially. You have the Dusknoirs to obviously put constant pressure on the Applins in that case. And, well, my only opponent's damage, bless him, was the, you know, was the 20 damage that spray fluid did. So, respect for the attack. It's just a shame this deck kind of picked you apart, but that's kind of why it's built that way. So, let's go to game 2. And welcome back to game 2. Really disappointed that I did not see a Snorlax in that deck, but, I mean, there's not really a relevant Snorlax card. Like, there's Snorlax EX, but, you know, I guess it's like, you know, it's something to think about, but even with our poor start, we were still able to take that win. Thanks to Dusclops. It's just crazy. Alright, well, we do start a Diancie, which I'm pretty happy with. Let's see what we can do. We've got Metal Sleeves, which is concerning, given that we are Metal Week, don't forget. That is concerning. But I'm hoping that if we can, you know, get some early pressure on the board, we could be okay. But realistically, I'm going to have to save that Ultra Ball instead of grabbing a Duskull, unless we top deck, you know, Telepathic Psychic Energy, which would be nice. The main thing that I need to be careful of is, obviously, if this is a metal deck, we need to be careful of Diancie, because they only need to be doing 150 damage with their metal attacker to take out Diancie, and, well, it's a 3-prize Pokemon. Let's see what we've got then. So, like I said, we've got a metal deck, what appears to be a metal deck anyway, but they are taking their sweet time about it. And a Bidoof. That doesn't tell me nothing. That does mean, though, I want to use this early. So let's go for get rid of Rare Candy, and I think I can get rid of a Diancie here. I'm going to grab a Duskull. Let's have a quick check. So we've got one Dusclops in hand, so that's fine. We have got a Duskull in the prizes, however. So that's something we need to be careful of. We've got a Hilda in the prize cards. We've got Secret Box in there, so that's good. One of our candies is prized. Otherwise, we have prized 2 energy. Yeah, 2 energy. I can live with that. It's just a little bit disappointing. But, still. And there we go. Let's see what they do. Because, like I say, I'm threatening Dusclops on Bidoof immediately, which is something not a lot of decks like to stand up against. And judging by the Pokemon he's just grabbed there, I think I know what deck this is. This is Honedge, well, the Doublade deck. I think this is the Doublade deck. But even if, like, I don't get anything off the top, I can just Petrel for turn and then Dusclops to Bidoof. I'm not too worried. The only problem is it would make their prize map a little bit easier in future, but again, I can live with that. The nice thing as well is Bidoof's not going to be doing any damage to Diancie, but obviously the effect of Itchy Pollen still goes through. But that's why I played the Ultra Ball earlier, to get Dusclops or Duskull down, because I kind of had to. And that is a beautiful top deck. You cannot ask for anything better. So we'll play down the Meowth. We'll use Last Ditch Catch. I'd have hated myself if I'd have clicked something wrong there. I mean, do I just go Hilda for Telepathic Psychic Energy and an Evolution? I think it's better to Hilda here, because I still get energy, so that's fine. And I'll grab a Dusknoir, because I can attach to the Diancie. We get telepathic psychic values, so we'll go Diancie plus another Duskull. And then we can Curse Blast, take out the Bidoof, then they're forced to bring up a 2-prizer. Because there's no point me smacking the Bidoof for 120 when I can just blow it up and then go from there. I'm not really worried. There's Latias. I'm not going to bench that now. They're giving me their Latias, which we will happily take with a Garland Ray. And that's a 3-prize turn thanks to the early pressure. I'll take that. There's our Psychics at the bin. Excellent. So what that means is we can Petrel for Secret Box. Because with Latias now in hand, we now have the option to go bench Latias, Petrel for, what's it called? Secret Box. We can then Secret Box for a Wondrous Patch, plus a Powerglass. We can power up this bench one, retreat this one into that, and go from there. And yeah, see, I knew what deck you were playing. We could even... Could I do it? Unless I top deck a Wondrous Patch. There's Legacy Energy, but we can still Dusknoir that, so that's not a problem. They've got a Metallic Signal. See, we just need Rare Candy, and we also just need a way to get a Psychic on this Diancie, and then we just win. But you can start to see where the creativity of this deck comes in, you know, like we're getting Duskull set up thanks to the Telepathic Psychic Energy, which I must admit that's one of the best special energies they've ever printed. So, you know, there's a Powerglass. That doesn't save us, unfortunately, but could we still do it? Because I could Petrel for Secret Box, and then, you know, attach to the Diancie in the active. I think it's fine to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Petrel for a Secret Box. I can then discard Dust. Well, no, I need to keep Dusknoir. I can get rid of Latias, Lively Stadium, or one of the Psychics. So we'll do that. Latias, Stadium, and the Psychic. Because what this allows me to do is I can grab a boss, because we will probably need a boss. I can grab a Candy, because I don't need the Wondrous Patch now. And then I can thin more out the deck. So I'll go attach, Candy, Dusknoir. I'm not going to be able to take game here, unfortunately, but I can Dusknoir the Honedge. This deck is disgusting, isn't it? I mean, come on, what can they do? I've just Dusknoir their only remaining Pokemon that can actually put a threat to me. There's nothing they can do here. And then all I do is I attach for turn, pass, and then we get Powerglass value. I threaten game now because they know I have boss. And yeah, they're just going to scoop it up. I don't blame you. That is a disgusting build. I've built this to be disgusting. That's why we build it. You know, obviously there is this deck running around in online tournaments, but obviously I went my own sort of path with it, like creativity and stuff. But honestly, this deck is disgusting when you get it going. So, let's go to game 3. And welcome back to Game 3. That was a really disgusting game there against the Honedge deck. Well, the Doublade deck, technically speaking. How were they getting energy into play is what I want to know. Because apart from, like, you know, Ignition Energy, I didn't see any evidence of, like, an energy acceleration Pokemon. Like Joltik, Smoochum. You know, I didn't really see a Crispin. It's like, how are they getting energy into play? But yeah, they had a lot of 2 prizes, and that's what I was able to take advantage of, even with the Bidoof. So I'm really happy that the deck has done that well. So let's see what we start with. That is a mulligan. That would have been nice for the telepathic. We've not started a telepathic in hand the entire video. And we're only mulliganing once. And that is a pretty bad start. I mean, like I say, I do still get some value off of it, but I'm going to have to touch the Duskull and pass, it looks like. Yeah, let's see what we got off the top. Well, that's a Diancie, so I'm definitely going to bench that. I'll attach to the Diancie and pass. I'm pretty fine with this. This is a pretty good start for us, because if they bench something with less than 50 HP, I could just immediately start putting pressure on. So we've got a Buddy Poffin, we've got a Bidoof and a Staryu, so this is a Starmie deck. That is a concern for us, because we do need to be careful in this instance. And it's also a Mega Frostlass version as well. Do they have an energy to retreat into the Bidoof? They do. Get it? They do for Bidoof. Yeah, that was terrible. I'll stop. This isn't the worst thing in the world, because like I said, we can Dusknoir the Bidoof, or Dusclops the Bidoof, I should say. We can Lillies for turn and go into something. So I'm fine with this. I mean, you know, we aren't really doing a lot, but, you know, the Itchy Pollen literally only stops my Night Stretcher, and I don't really care about that, to be brutally honest. Let's go Clefairy. Clefairy's not going to be too relevant in this matchup. I'm not going to blow up the Clops yet. I'm going to Lillies first, because then we get more cards. And that is exactly why you should do that. So we will attach Telepathic Psychic Energy to my Diancie, which means we can grab a double Duskull under item lock, which is disgusting. Why can I not Curse Blast? Oh yeah, Psyduck. Oh, that would be helpful if I remembered that. I mean, to be fair, like, I don't really need to worry. The only thing I should have done is I should have waited to, you know, evolve to the Dusclops. Because obviously there is Psyduck in their deck, which I wasn't expecting. But I could just wait then. I'm not in a rush. I should have seen the Psyduck. Like, I didn't even notice the Psyduck, to be brutally honest. But, you know, this could be a tough matchup for us. Like, the Psyduck does throw a spanner in the works, but I'm not too mad about it. The only thing I need to be careful of, there's Salvatore. The only thing I need to be careful of is if they can gust a Diancie this turn, but since they've just played Salvatore, they can't. I need to start putting Pokemon down this next turn. They can go immediately in with the Starmie, but they're choosing not to. I think they're just trying to make me work for stuff, which is fair enough. So I can do that. I can bench another Diancie. I can bench a Latias. I can Petrel. I can thin a Powerglass, because we're probably going to need it later. Attach to you, pass. Like I said, I completely forgot about the Psyduck, so feel free to laugh at me. You don't see this card all that much. It's because of decks like this is why people are playing it. I'm not really sure why they're not going for the attack with the Starmie. Maybe they're just waiting to go for the Diancie. But even then, I can play around the Mega Frostlass, so it's not a big deal. What is a big deal is that, however, because that's going to cause me issues later. Are they going to go in with the Starmie? Because I can't one-shot them. Because I don't have access to Dusknoir. And they're just going to sit me behind item lock, because of course they are. Alright, well I can't play that, so I'll just play the I just said play the Bidoof. We don't play Bidoof. Right, well that was a horrendous draw there. I'll attach to the Dusclops and pass. At this rate, it's going to be a Will-O-Wisp. Which I don't mind doing that, that's funny, but, you know, they're probably going to Gust and take out a Diancie, which is really bad if they do that. Adrenabrain, they're going to start moving damage around. they can take out this Duskull this turn with Mega Starmie's attack, if they wish to do so. No, they're putting it on the Diancie. Interesting. Not the line I thought you'd go with, but sure. And yep, they've got the boss. They're bossing another Dusclops. Are you just going to sit me behind item lock the whole time and be a knob? Because if so, I'm not doing this. Like, you literally have two of your best attack... That you have your two attackers, and you have a Frostlass. You're doing this to be a knob. There's no other way of putting it, yeah. We'll just go to a game 4, because, like I say, he could destroy me right now because of my hand size, but he's just choosing to, you know, item lock and stall and waste people's time. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of that. We'll just go to a game 4. And welcome back to game 4. That was, I mean, it was to be expected. You know, I didn't even notice the side hook at first. But honestly, I'm not too bothered. It's more the fact that they were just wasting time, you know. Like, you had the option to go boss Diancie with your Frostlass because I couldn't get my hand down. It's like, why waste more time just being a knob and just, you know, spreading damage everywhere? Like, just get the match over and done with. It's not difficult. We do start the Mimikyu, which is good because it does have free retreat. They might even think they're playing Team Rockets, which is good for us because that does cause them a bit of an issue. But we do actually have a pretty disgusting, because obviously we're going second, remember. We have a very disgusting turn 1 because we can get an attack off immediately. And there's Team Rocket's Mimikyu staring down a Dreepy, so we're facing Dragapult. They've got their own Duskull. They attach. Please tell me that's it, because I'm going to bonk this Dreepy on the head, and it's going to be hilarious. Come on, pass your turn, please. Just pass. Don't they have a Meowth? Are you playing Carmine or something? It's the only reason why you should be mentioning that. They're going to grab a Lillies for their next turn. Well, you're going to need it, because I'm about to devastate your board already, mate. So, let's go for Ultra Ball away. Not you, I need to keep you. Hilda and Psychic. We will grab ourselves a Diancie. We're not going to use Secret Box this turn, because we have no reason to. We'll go Wondrous Patch to the Diancie. Hilda to the... Well, I would say Hilda to the Diancie, but that's not how it works. We can then do that. Go Telepathic Psychic Energy. Grab the Duskull and the Latias. Then we free retreat into Diancie. And bonk this Dreepy on the head. We'll get rid of the In fact, no, it's more relevant to get rid of this Psychic Energy. And already, we're a prize card up. I mean, we had access to Latias, but it's not a big deal. There's Bloodmoon. I didn't bother prize checking because we're going to do that when we Secret Box. It's fine. But that's the sort of early pressure that this deck can just put on. It's like crazy how good it is. I mean, like right now, they're getting Dreepy set up and all that jazz, but you know, they may not think I'm playing Lillie's Clefairy, but spoiler alert, my friend, I am. Because like I say, I can Secret Box for, you know, I can actually Secret Box for Lillie's, Night Stretcher, Powerglass, Lively Stadium, and I think that's what I do here. Because then I'm seeing fresh cards and I can still get back, you know, Dusclops and things like that. And also the Psychic Energy as well. They're going to get another Dreepy down. If that's all you're doing, mate, I'm happy with that. There's another Buddy Poffin. Is that your third one? Yeah, that's his third. Have you prized your Bidoos or something? He's got a Poké Pad. What are you grabbing off a Poké Pad then? Dusclops, maybe? But, like, if you do that, that's just really bad for you. He's going to grab another Duskull. That's fine. And he just passes. Fair enough. There's a Hilda. I might even need to play Secret Box this turn. But then again, if I Secret Box now, I just get more value anyway. So yeah, we're going to Secret Box. So like I said, we're going to Lillie's, Night Stretcher, Powerglass, and the Lively Stadium. We're not going to put down the Stadium now, because we don't need to. We can then Night Stretcher back the Psychic. Although I could grab Dusclops, but it's not too relevant right now. So I'll just grab the Energy. So we'll do that. And then Lillie's, because then I shuffle the Lively back in. We might need it to bump a Stadium later. We can now go Rare Candy into Dusknoir. which is disgusting. This deck seriously needs a nerf. Apart from Psyduck, this is just disgusting. So I'm going to Dusknoir the Dreepy with the energy. Jeez, this deck is evil, man. I might even build this IRL. Like, this is disgusting, man. I mean, like I said, the Team Rocket's Mimikyu would be useful in this matchup, but I haven't had a reason to obviously use it yet. And yeah, we're just going to Garden Ray, get rid of the basic Psychic Energy, and take out the Duskull. And we'll take another prize card for another Dusclops. Excellent. Because now what we can do is we are threatening essentially game, because if they blow up a Duskull, or a Dusclops, sorry, we could just boss the Meowth for game. Problem solved. The only way in which they set us back a little bit is if they manage to, you know, get something set up in that regard. But even then, I could just boss your Cloak if I want to. I'm not worried in the slightest here. At least not right now. It's if they have, like, Dusclops. In fact, no, they need Dusknoir plus Bloodmoon Ursaluna in, like, the next turn would be a bit of a concern. But, you know, if we have something going on here, like, we're in business, to put it politely. They're going to Rare Candy into the Pult. That's a dangerous game to play, though, mate, because I can take out Pult. I have Telepathic Psychic Energy to search a Lily's Clefairy, so you're really not helping yourself here. And even if you somehow take out my Diancie, I can work with it. It won't be pleasant, but I can work with it. There's Monkey Dory. Does he have, like, Stamp or something? No, Lilies. So he's not even attacking with a Pult. You're effectively just giving me a free Pult KO. That's got to feel so bad. Because then you can't Dusknoir. That's so bad. Maybe he doesn't think I have the access to Lilie's Clefairy. Maybe he thinks I don't even play it. I don't know, but, like, this deck does play Lilie's Clefairy because it kind of has to. Poké Pad. Is he going to grab a Dusclops? Because if he is, that's just dumb. Because then, again, I just win with, you know, Boss and everything like that. He's going to grab a Dracloak. Night Stretcher back to Dreepy, probably. Yep, there's the Dreepy. He's going to bench the Dreepy, and that's it. Just a pass. Well, unfortunately for you, good sir, I do have a very bad day at the office planned for you. So we're going to Team Rocket's Mimikyu, give that the Telepathic Psychic Energy. I'm going to get down Clefairy and Diancie. See, this is why, mate, I'm about to make your day a whole lot worse. We will then boss the Dragapult, and we will Garland Raid, discarding both. Good night, Dragapult. Because even if he takes out the Team Rocket's Mimikyu on the you know, on the bench, we don't care because we have a Diancie set up. Yeah, this is disgusting. This is really disgusting, and this deck needs, like, this is horrible. I'm not even joking. This is horrible for my opponent. I mean, if we find a way to get that Dusknoir, we just win now. Like, the only way in which they have a response is to obviously Phantom Dive deactive, but even then, they need to rely on me not having a Psychic Energy. It's like they're praying essentially that I don't draw into a Psychic. Spoiler alert: I have a few in hand. So yeah, this deck is evil. I'm not even gonna say, like, if you are worried about Dusknoir, please put a Psyduck in your deck, because this deck will destroy you if you don't. He's got a Night Stretcher back, probably a Dreepy. I know he's going to grab a Fire, so he might have Crispin in hand. There's the energy attachment. Does he have Crispin? No, he has Boss. You do know I have Latias, right? Well, we're using the Mimikyu to do it, because we might as well make Chef Husky happy. In fact, I've just realised I've attached the wrong Pokemon. I am an idiot. I am that tired. I just attached to the wrong Pokemon. I meant to attach to Mimikyu. Do I have an energy in the bin? No. I mean, it's fine that I just did that, but I've just made myself look a twat. It's fine. I don't know why I attached here. I generally don't, but I'm giving them a chance, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, they just lose. Like, if they take out Mimikyu, I just bring up the Diancie and win. Like, I'm not worried in the slightest. If they gust a Clefairy, it's fine. You know, I can Petrel for Night Stretcher and get back my Dusknoir. I don't know why I did that. I think it's just because I've just had a message on my phone that I need to go and sort something, and I think that just affected my brain decision there. But either way, they're at 5 prize cards, we're at 1. I'm not worried in the slightest. There's nothing they can do here. Maybe they thought I was catching them a break or something. I mean, surely it would have made sense to Jet Headbutt the Mimikyu, because then you're at least taking a prize card here. I don't know, but still. Very interesting approach from my opponent. So they did have Badoo. Okay. Do you have Bloodmoon? But even then, Bloodmoon doesn't KO. Bloodmoon only does 210 here. He's grabbing Dusknoir. Is he going to Rare Candy Dusknoir and blow it up to go out in style? Please do, because I would laugh, but still. There's Crispin, so we can get the attack over the pulp, but he's only doing 170 damage. So you can hit this for 200, well 170, take out the Mimikyu, but then I just attach. Like I say, that I don't know what I was thinking there. I think it's just out of impulse. I attached here. I don't know, but well, that's what happens when tiredness kicks you in the face. To be fair, I had a nice lunge, so that's probably why. But they're going to Phantom Dive for 170 damage because of the minus 30 from the Diamond Coat. They are going to target down the Mimikyu. But yeah, they really couldn't do anything. That was my fault that the Mimikyu didn't get to do it there. Don't blame the deck, blame the pilot. We were just attached to the Diancie, and we will Golden Wraith a game. And I'd love to have done it with Gemstone Mimicry, Phantom Dived the Dragapult in the active and then taken out the Duskull, but, well, Joe's sleepy brain took the wheel then. It's fine. It's not a major deal. I'm sure you'll all have a laugh in the comments then, but still, this deck is evil, and it's not even close to how, like, disgusting this deck feels. So, yeah, if those games, minus the game 3, where the guy was just delaying to just annoy me, minus that game, this deck has definitely proved how disgusting it is. So, what did I think to the deck? This deck is evil, and I really think this is a strong deck. I don't think it's going to be sat at the top tables, because obviously, you know, Dusknoir decks don't typically do that unless it's Dragapult. You know, Dragapult has the ability to obviously go Phantom Dive for 200 and obviously spread 6 damage counters. But maybe the Team Rocket's Mimikyu might be worth something if there's a lot of pull around, which there is, but, you know, it's more the fact that we need a way to get the Mimikyu set up a bit quicker if we're going to utilize it. I think an Energy Switch would be a solid addition to this deck, but other than that, I really don't think this deck needs a lot of changes. You know, like, Energy Switch would be really nice, just as a one-of, because obviously you can Petrel for it, or Secret Box for it. But other than that, I'm really shocked at how disgusting this deck is, but it's a Dusknoir deck, what do you expect? And when you pair Dusknoir with Diancie plus Bloodmoon, plus, you know, other means of attack and stuff like that, really starts to show. But like I said, I think if we have Team Rocket's Mimikyu with an Energy Switch in the list just to help set it up a little bit easier than, you know, just relying on Wondrous Patch, I think this is going to be a really strong deck going forward. But with that, I'm going to leave it all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Mega Diancie with the Dusknoir package, and I will see you next time.